Welcome to the West Los Angeles First Wednesday Networking Breakfast. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here so bright and early. That was what I would call a smattering of applause. So you guys might need some more coffee. There's plenty of coffee. Feel free to take as much coffee as you need. All right, so who's ready to do some networking today? Anybody? Great. Well, my name is Buzz Park. I will be the MC this morning. I'm with Lightyear Marketing Group and on the board of directors. And we are very excited to have you. Before we start anything though, please turn off your cell phones or put them on silent mode so that we are not disturbed during the meeting. And the first thing that we're going to do is the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to have our president, Roosevelt Farahanapour, is going to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So everyone please stand.
Good morning. Put your hand on your heart. We're going to go together. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Thank you. All right, welcome. So we are the West Los Angeles Chamber. Let me tell you very quickly what the West Los Angeles Chamber is. We have a mission. Our mission is to enhance business opportunities through referral, advocacy, and education. Referral, advocacy, and education. So referral, we provide quite a few networking events where we get like-minded business owners together and build relationships. Because people do business with people they know and people they like, right? So we provide lots of opportunities for business owners to get together, build those relationships, potentially become referral partners. That's a lot of what we do is the referral aspect. But we also are very interested in advocacy. So we want to make sure that the political leaders in this area, that our elected officials, that our organization leaders understand the needs of the business community in West Los Angeles. So we like to bring them in. We often have a speaker at this particular breakfast who is an elected official or an organization leader. Today we have the California Restaurant Association president. So we're very excited to have him as a speaker today. So we're always talking about the issues that affect our lives as business people. And then education, there are often opportunities for chamber members to take some kind of a workshop put on by other chamber members for free to learn more about their business or life skills, etc. So that's what we are all about. So you're in a good place. If you're here to potentially grow your business or become more educated about business, you're in the right place. Sound good? Yeah. All right, great. So a couple of quick announcements. Christine, did you want to come up and talk about announcements?
Well, I just have one.
All right. So this is our ambassador, Christine Halverson. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I just want to let you know. So we have networking at noon, luncheon every month, and it's the second Friday. So you all are welcome. If you're not members, you're welcome. It's another opportunity to check out the chamber. So it'll be next Friday, which is
The 13th.
13th. Thank you, 13th. That
Friday the
noon.
13th.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Noon to 1:30 at Delphi Creek in Westwood. If you need directions, ask me or Bruce Bay. That's his place. Thank you so much. Hope to see you there.
Awesome, thank you. If you want to know what events are upcoming in the West Los Angeles Chamber, just Google West LA Chamber or go to westlachamber.org or .com and you'll see our website there and the event calendar, etc. Well, I would like to acknowledge our sponsor for today. We have Angela Peterson, who does communications and marketing for New Directions for Veterans. So we're very excited to have her here today. Let's have a round of applause. She's going to be doing a presentation a little bit later, but thank you so much for supporting our chamber, and we're very excited to hear about the event that's coming up that we will hopefully be able to support as well. And let's see, do I have any other, oh, by the ways before we get going here? Okay, so we're going to do some networking. Is that okay? Sure. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what we call table networking. And you are going to have an opportunity to give your personal presentation, an elevator pitch, if you will. You're going to have 1 minute. We need to have a timer at every table. So if you have we need a volunteer to do timing at every table. We have Rachel at this table. I'm very excited to have Angela come up. She is a communications and marketing specialist. Are you the communications marketing director? Specialist, okay, soon. But anyway, let's have a warm round of applause for Angela and Director of Veterans. That's all yours.
Yeah, so thanks. All right, well, my name is Angela, and I work at New Directions, and we're a nonprofit that helps homeless veterans get housed. There's many facets to the program. We've got a program where veterans get drug and alcohol treatment to help them get back into housing. We also do help them kind of get legal help so that they can clear up any charges that they may have received from something that may have been related to PTSD. And then recently we've gotten really involved into permanent supportive housing, where we normally partner with other organizations to get residential communities built so that veterans can get housed and off the streets. But rather than just getting them housed and never knowing what's going to happen, because maybe they still have mental health issues that aren't being addressed, we make sure that we have someone on site to be there to look out for them. If they notice somebody slipping, somebody's there for them to say like, hey, let's intervene and make sure you're getting the help that you need. Right here in West LA, in Brentwood, we have our main building where we have 156 beds, where we help 156 veterans, and we have a drug and alcohol treatment program, and we provide mental health services to really get to the root of the problem, to make sure that these veterans aren't going to relapse back into some sort of issue, because we found, I think in the last count, that veterans are more susceptible to falling back into homelessness because their issues aren't being treated. So we rely a lot on private donations to make sure that we have mental health counselors, we have an art therapy program, we just got a neurofeedback clinic, which is like state-of-the-art kind of therapy that I can barely describe it, but it does EEG stuff and kind of retrains your brain to get over certain issues. And that's what we do. So it's really fascinating to watch some of these guys come into the program, then they leave with an apartment, they leave happy, they are doing well, and they always follow up with us and kind of keep in touch, and it's just to see the transformation of that. So we've got our annual 5K run coming up in May 19th, and it's one of our biggest events kind of in the community to get everyone involved, to kind of see what we do, and then to help us raise funds. So we're looking for businesses who would like to have a booth at our expo. We're aiming for 1,000 people to be there to kind of see, to participate in the run. It's just our biggest event, and we need support from business owners to get involved, to get an expo booth. I believe we have some room space we need teams. So if anybody kind of wants to start a team with your organization, and even that way is just fun to raise money and to do whatever you can do. And I think the top winning team gets a meal at Ruth Bay's restaurant. So that's enough to want to participate. So if anybody is interested in creating a team or getting a booth, please contact me or Molly Ann, and we can get you all the information to get started with that. And even if I can get you guys some flyers at some point so that you can hang them up wherever you see, just to kind of spread the word as much as possible. That's what we're trying to do, and that's all I've got for you guys. Yes.
Do you make programs for veterans who maybe are okay mentally and doing okay, but maybe they lost their job and they're about to lose their apartments? Can you help them get over the hump by giving them a loan or to actually pay the rent for a few months until they get back on their feet?
I'm glad you actually brought this up, because I forgot to mention, we have an SSVF program, which is for veterans and veteran families. So let's say that he can't make his rent. It's more of a preventative service to prevent someone from being homeless. So that's where we have the funds that we can give them the month's rent, pay an electric bill, even if someone is moving into a new apartment, get them a refrigerator or a bed. So those services are available. It's called SSVF.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how at the VA up there, they're building housing for vets? Do you know if they've broken ground or if that's moving along?
The last I read about that it was still kind of that they were talking to contractors about getting it started. I know there's a meeting coming up that we're going to that hopefully we can kind of get more housing for our veterans there as well. The women need housing bad.
First of all, Gary, and your response, they already approved 2,000 housing at the veteran lands, and hopefully by end of the year, they sign the contract, they're gonna do it in 2 years. But my question for you, because we want to support the organization as much as we can for our senior members at the chamber. We know how we get the support, how we can get the booth or a sponsorship. Can you tell us about the rates of the sponsorship and booths and other way we can support? And how is the individual signing, or if the chamber start a team, how much is for each person to run?
Okay, so an expo booth is $400 for a booth, and then everybody comes through at the event and walks through, and you can hand out whatever kind of information and stuff like that. As well as sponsorship, it's a little bit higher. It's, I think, we've got like a presenting, a title, and then gold and silver. So it varies from about, you could do, I think the minimum is 3,000, and then it would be 5,000 for a different level. And with that, it would include your logo on all of our materials, as well as social media posts and various things like that to make sure that we're giving you guys enough credit for your donation. If you did want to start a team, you go right onto our website at ndvets5k.org, and then there is information on how to start a team, and then you just kind of get the people that you want, you add them on. Then you could also raise money, and as you raise the funds, you just do it right through the website. You can tell your friends, family members, like, hey, I'm raising money for this, and they can find your name or your team and donate money towards you. So, yes.
Do you help with job placement and or opening any small businesses?
Yes, we have a workforce. I'm glad you guys are asking these questions because we have a workforce department that helps veterans get jobs. And they tend to find jobs that kind of pair with the skills that these guys already have. And then also to make sure that they're not falling back into old patterns, because let's say that after you left the military you became a truck driver, and now you know the routes as to where you could find different problems. So now they say like, hey, why don't, instead of doing truck driving, maybe a forklift operator or construction? And then we get them the special skills and the training to do that. And if there was anybody who was looking for a veteran to work at one of your establishments, we do always need.
Right.
And we work with the case managers to make sure that this person is doing well, that they are able to get a job and leave our program. And then you're reminding me of something else I forgot that we discussed earlier. We try to get these veterans housed when they're ready to leave our program, or even different veterans who come to us and say like, hey, I don't have a drug and alcohol problem, but I don't have a house. So we work with different landlords to get them apartments, to make sure that they're okay. And it's kind of like we advocate for these guys that normally wouldn't get an apartment because let's say they have no credit if you were homeless for 10, 15 years. So that's kind of our step. So if you know anybody who's willing to rent to veterans, that would be phenomenal for us as well. Yes.
Do you have any data on, maybe how New Veterans or New Directions does in terms of preventing recidivism compared to other organizations that are in the same field?
It's kind of hard to track sometimes. I don't have that data. I know that we have last year alone, we helped about 1,800 veterans and their families through our various programs, whether through permanent supportive housing or through our SSVF program, which was preventative, as well as through our transitional program and emergency housing. I think that we do every step possible to follow up with these guys to make sure that they're doing well after they leave our program. So that's kind of where we are. We have tons of staff out there who really cares. And about 16% of our staff, and we have over 100, went through our program and our veterans themselves. So they kind of know what goes on, and then they follow up, and they have that little bit extra care to make sure that even though you left the program, that you're still being looked after, you still have a family. Is there a question?
Awesome.
Thank you guys very much.
If you haven't noticed already, there are flyers on the table that have all this information. Make sure you go to the website. So I guess it's ndvets5k.org. Make sure you go to that site, and we should get a couple teams started up. So maybe we could have a West LA Chamber team, or if you have a business you'd like to have a team in your business's name. I know US Bank, that might be having a team. I see that you're a sponsor on there. I'm just saying, you know, there are more to life than just sponsorship. So anyway, thank you very much, Angela, we appreciate it, and we're very excited to be in partnership with New Directions for Veterans. Another round of applause. Okay, really quickly, I would like to introduce our board of directors. And if you, I know a couple of the guys are not here, but when you hear your name called, please stand so we can acknowledge you. The board of directors really is tasked with the governance of the chamber and making sure that we're headed in the right direction, and making sure that we're on top of the right issues, etc. So these guys do spend quite a bit of time to support this chamber and support the business community in Los Angeles. Stan Scott is not here. Simone Etihad here. Ruspa Farahanapour, our president. Joe Gabriel. Chris Gray. Nima Mobasser. Steve Little, State Farm, he's not here. Dr. William Manos. Very good. And Elham Yahubian. So round of applause for our board of directors. And I also want to acknowledge the chairman of the ambassador committee and our primary ambassador, Christine Halverson, who you saw come up here. So Christine, thank you for your If you are, yes.
First of all, you didn't introduce yourself.
I am also, I have a little director tab, so I think you guys can see that.
The US board member, that's Cynthia.
Oh, Cynthia, Rockwell, very good. And she's with US Bank, so great to have you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do some more networking. Is that okay if we do some more networking? All right, good. I have like 3 people already really excited about it. So, no, we're going to.
Confidence kick in.
What we're going to do now is I'm going to take the mic and go around, and everyone is going to have an opportunity to just tell who they are, the name of their company, with literally one sentence. So if it's not patently obvious what your company does, just by the name of it, you know, give us one sentence of your company, and we're going to go around so everyone has a chance to at least identify another business owner in the group that they may want to connect with later. Okay, so make sure you you know, have your pen and pencil ready or your phone ready so you can write down somebody that you